What a shame. From the moment Kelly's face flashed onto that split screen, eyes squinting in self-satisfaction, mouth curling into that over-rehearsed smirk, you could tell this was not going to be an exercise in journalism, fairness, or even coherent commentary. No, this was Kelly in her most comfortable habitat, the cheap-shot swamp, where accuracy takes a backseat to noise, and where the truth is a mere speed bump on the road to a headline. Her latest target, Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, the woman she has inexplicably treated as a personal obsession, this time accusing her of stupid attempts to become Martha Stewart. It was a statement that revealed far more about Kelly's own bitterness than about Meghan's ambitions. For one, it betrayed her fundamental misunderstanding of Meghan's brand. As ever, Meghan's carefully crafted lifestyle company is not a photocopy of anyone else's work. It is grounded in her own lived experience, taste and vision, drawing on her California roots, her wellness philosophy, and her ability to merge elegance with approachability. Unlike Kelly, Meghan does not need to attach her name to someone else's career arc to find relevance. She has built her own. Kelly's rant didn't just miss the point, it missed the planet. Comparing Meghan to Martha Stewart was lazy, clumsy, and frankly insulting to both women. Stewart's decades-long empire is rooted in domestic crafts and homemaking. Meghan's, as ever, is a modern, aspirational lifestyle brand that fuses hospitality, mindful living, and conscious consumerism. To imply that Meghan's business is some sort of knockoff shows either willful ignorance or deliberate dishonesty. Given Kelly's history, my money's on the latter. But what makes this smear even more laughable is the unspoken reality. Meghan doesn't need to become anyone. The woman who can launch a rose wine that sells out in under an hour is not auditioning for someone else's legacy. She's expanding her own. And the irony here? The only person in this scenario desperately trying to become a poor imitation of someone else is Megyn Kelly herself, a bargain bin hybrid of Fox News outrage punditry and bargain basement tabloid gossip. Kelly strutted into this conversation armed with buzzwords, smirks, and a script designed to provoke, not inform. You could practically see the glint in her eyes as she lobbed the word stupid into the air like it was a grenade, certain it would explode into a chorus of clicks and retweets. But here's the problem with her grenade. It was made of papier-mâché. No substance, no impact, just noise. And yet, in her mind, she imagines herself as some cultural gatekeeper, warning the public about Meghan's so-called delusions. The reality? The public isn't buying Kelly's gatekeeping anymore. They're buying Meghan's products. One of them is winning in the marketplace, in cultural relevance, and in global affection. Spoiler alert, it's not the woman huffing outrage into a studio microphone for Sky News Australia. From the very first frame of that Sky News clip, the energy was unmistakable. Not the energy of sharp analysis or investigative rigor, but the twitchy, performative glee of someone who thinks they've landed the insult of the year. Megyn Kelly leaned forward, eyes glistening with the anticipation of her own voice, as if the studio lights themselves were just a spotlight on her petty crusade. And then she did it. She launched into her latest tirade, branding Meghan Sussex's business moves as stupid attempts to become Martha Stewart. To the casual viewer, it might have just sounded like another one of Kelly's throwaway one-liners, the kind she spits out like sunflower seed shells during her daily broadcasts. But to anyone paying attention, it was revealing. It told us everything we needed to know about Kelly's warped lens. She cannot process Meghan's success outside the framework of imitation. The idea that Meghan could be the architect of her own empire, an original blueprint, a fresh perspective, a global appeal that doesn't need to mimic anyone, seems beyond Kelly's mental reach. The irony? Meghan's as-ever brand is almost the antithesis of Martha Stewart's business model. Stewart's empire is steeped in old-school Americana domesticity, pies cooling on windowsills, holiday table settings, and precise napkin folds. Meghan's as-ever is modern, global, and forward-facing. It merges cultural sophistication with conscious living, from farm-to-table products to ethically crafted homeware. Stewart's brand emerged in an era before Instagram, before the global conversation on sustainability, before lifestyle meant mindful consumer choices. Meghan's brand was born into that conversation and thrives within it. For Kelly to conflate the two is not only lazy, it's embarrassing. It's like accusing Tesla of trying to be the Ford Model T simply because both involve cars. But here's where Kelly truly exposes herself. Her choice of language, stupid attempts, is telling. This wasn't critique, it was mockery dressed as analysis. And mockery in Kelly's world is a substitute for substance. It's a trick she's leaned on for years. When you can't dismantle the facts, you insult the person. It's playground logic, amplified by television cameras. What Kelly didn't say, because it would dismantle her entire premise, is that Meghan Sussex has never claimed to be, wanted to be, or styled herself as the next Martha Stewart. Not once. Meghan's vision is rooted in her own narrative. A biracial American woman with a background in acting, advocacy, and philanthropy who has built a brand reflecting her lived experiences. She is, in fact, creating something uniquely hers, which is why it resonates. And unlike Kelly, she doesn't need to punch down to be relevant. Kelly, on the other hand, is a different story. This is a woman whose career trajectory reads like a cautionary tale in chasing relevance, from Fox News outrage circuits to a disastrous NBC stint, and now to a revolving door of appearances on right-wing echo chambers where Meghan bashing is the low-hanging fruit that keeps the clicks coming. She's the broadcaster equivalent of a reality TV contestant who didn't win but refuses to leave the reunion episode. And when you strip away the smug delivery and the cherry-picked talking points, what are we left with? A desperate pundit recycling the same tired tropes about Meghan Sussex because she knows they'll land her in the algorithms of those still clinging to the fantasy that Meghan's every move is a failure. In truth, Kelly's jabs don't land. They boomerang, revealing her own insecurities. If anything, the comparison to Martha Stewart backfires spectacularly on Kelly. Stewart is an empire builder who served time in prison, rebuilt her brand, and still commands respect in her field. Meghan is an empire builder who has navigated institutional racism, media harassment, and the suffocating weight of royal politics, and still emerged with a sold-out product line, a global fan base, and the ability to dictate her own narrative. Both women, in their own ways, are testaments to resilience and reinvention. The only one not in that league is the woman mocking them. And let's not ignore the subtext of Kelly's remark. This wasn't just about a business critique. It was about policing Meghan's lane. It was a message, intentional or not, that Meghan should know her place, that a woman like her couldn't possibly forge a lane parallel to industry icons without being accused of copying them. It's a tired, dog-whistle-laden narrative that Kelly has trafficked in before, one that's steeped in the discomfort certain commentators have with women, especially women of colour, who refuse to stay within the confines of expectation. Meanwhile, Meghan's place is wherever she decides it will be. If she wants to launch wine, she does. If she wants to expand into home goods, she will. And the market, not Megyn Kelly's rolled eyes, will decide her success. So far, the verdict is clear. Meghan is selling out products in hours. Kelly is selling out her credibility in minutes. What's almost tragic is that Kelly seems oblivious to how transparent she's become. The repetition of this Meghan-bashing cycle has dulled its edge. It's no longer shocking, it's predictable. And predictability is the death of relevance in media. Viewers tune in not to be enlightened, but to rubberneck the train wreck of a once formidable broadcaster reduced to sniping at someone else's cookbook of success because she has no new recipe of her own. The bitter truth for Kelly is this. Meghan Sussex doesn't need to be Martha Stewart, and she certainly doesn't need Megyn Kelly's permission to build her brand. She is carving her own lane, and if that lane occasionally runs parallel to another mogul's, it's not imitation, it's evolution. Kelly's failure to grasp that says less about Meghan's business model and more about Kelly's inability to evolve beyond her own tabloid impulses. And here's the final twist of irony. In trying to paint Meghan as a copycat, Kelly inadvertently acknowledged Meghan's stature. You don't compare someone to Martha Stewart unless you think they're operating on that level. So, in a way, even in her insult, Kelly confirmed what she's been too proud to admit. Meghan is playing in the big leagues. Kelly's just heckling from the bleachers. To all my curious Sussex family, thank you all for watching and do not forget to subscribe, like and put a comment. Bye-bye, see you in our next episode.